Hello, dear ones. Father Peter John, coming to you from the Grove at All Saints Orthodox Church. I'm just going to give you a view of the trees here real quick. Oh my goodness gracious, will you just look at the glory of God's wonderful, marvelous, magnificent creation. That's why I like to come down here. It's just beautiful. Anyway, I want to talk today about somebody who is... Look, I love Iron Man. I mean, the first Iron Man movie in particular, just such a great movie. It really is. And, of course, the thing that makes Iron Man so great is the suit. Well, today's Fool for Christ is called John Big Cap, or John Big Hat. Now, I know it doesn't sound like a saint's name, really, probably that you've ever heard before. He's also known as John the Wonder Worker of Moscow and John of Moscow, Fool for Christ. But this John Big Hat name, I found it intriguing. I thought, what on earth is this all about? And so I started doing a little research. Well, John, in his youth, he lived in the 16th century in Russia, and in his youth, he worked in the salt mines. He was a water boy. He carried water. And big, on his shoulders, big heavy buckets of water. And as he worked, he prayed and he fasted, and he considered in his youth his work with prayer and fasting and carrying water in these salt mines. He considered this to be his ascesis, his way of denying himself, so that he could more effectively take up his cross and follow Christ. And really, if I can pause there for just a moment, that's what all of us are supposed to do. Not all of us are going to go live in a cave. Not all of us are called to live on a mountaintop. But all of us are called to take whatever it is that we are gifted with, whatever our circumstances are, living in Santa Barbara, or living in backwoods Indiana, or living in New York City, or wherever we find ourselves, doing whatever else. Pizza delivery. How about a football coach? Or a soda pop fountain repair woman. That was random. So anyway, no matter what it is that we are called to do, what we're gifted for, our circumstances, right? We're supposed to receive that as an opportunity from God to draw closer to God, to grow in our love for God and our service of our neighbor and our love for our neighbor. Okay, well, John Big Hat did this very, very well. Now, I mentioned Iron Man at the beginning of this podcast or vlog, whatever it's called. I mentioned Iron Man because of the suit. Now, here's the deal. John, after he left the salt mines and he had, worked there, I don't know how much of his youth he spent there, but apparently a considerable amount, he stripped himself of his normal clothes, kept on something minimal, I guess, to cover himself barely, and then he wrapped himself in chains. But these were not just normal chains. These chains he had decorated with iron crosses, like heavy iron crosses. So he didn't just wrap himself in chains, he was wrapped in chains that had iron crosses attached all over them. And then, to my knowledge, I'm told this is the only saint that we have, at least in Russian Orthodox recorded history, that wore a heavy iron hat, hence the name John Big Hat. So if you can imagine then the iron hat and the chains and the crosses, this guy was a sight to behold. He was very bold. He was not afraid to speak the truth to anyone, including the Tsar, Boris Godunov. He would tell him, the Tsar, or anybody else who needed to hear the truth in black and white. And he wasn't afraid of the consequences. He had a prophetic spirit. He foretold the time of troubles in Russia. He foretold the invasion of the Poles. He was foretelling a whole bunch of different things. And then also, towards the end of his life, he was granted the gift of healing. He was able to heal those who came to him in need. So he's another one of these fools for Christ who denied himself the comforts of this world, and he gave himself over completely to God, seeking no glory or honor in this life for himself, but always seeking to direct all of the honor and the glory to our Father in heaven. So, brothers and sisters, let us remember John Big Hat, Saint John, the Fool for Christ of Moscow, the wonder worker of Moscow, and his desire to serve Christ that was so deep, that was so great. He was willing to don this heavy, incredibly heavy metal outfit from head to toe to take up his cross and follow Christ. Christ is in our midst. He is and ever shall be.